Hello, and welcome to the Battleship Brawl Companion. I'm Evil Fazurgan, and this episode I'll be reviewing his Broken Sword by CrushedEmber. This ship, or at least a earlier version of it called the Holy Seal, was one of the earliest ships to be submitted to this tournament, and definitely one of the most intimidating looking. Just from its sheer number of guns. It's got this massive broadside on each side and turrets fore and aft for a total of an astounding 72 guns, which I believe is the most of any entry in this tournament. Overall, it's a great looking ship too. The hull has this elaborate superstructure, a nice paint job, and of course the iconic broken sword sculpture at the very top. Unfortunately, in terms of combat performance, this ship is not as good as its appearance would imply. I've got the engines thrown up to full, and we're making a not too bad around 13.5 meters per second. Probably slightly below average, but not terrible by any means. If I make a turn here, yaw rate is a touch above 3 degrees per second. Also below average, but again, we've seen much lower than that. However, as a relatively short-range broadside ship, note that these cannons only have 124 meters per second. This speed is really going to hurt it in terms of actually getting to get its guns to engage. Armor-wise, the ship is made out of mostly metal and alloy on the outer shell, with wood dividers in the center, in the middle of the ship. I think it can probably sustain flotation even without the air pumps. But overall, alloy is not the strongest material, and the metal is not as thick as the equivalent on many other ships. I think looks to be, well, it's kind of hard to tell with all these cramps. And we've got a few layers on the deck. One weakness is that the ship only has a single AI. So if that gets taken out, it's curtains for the entire entry. With its slow speed and turning rate, its effective durability is not going to be among the best. Finally, let's talk about the armament. With 72 guns, you would expect this ship to put out a lot of effective firepower. Unfortunately, the math from the depths really works against this. Let's talk about the majority of these broadside guns. We see that each of them has only 2.5 effective explosive material and 2 hardening material boxes, and only 4 ammunition boxes. Combined with their low velocity and their casemate mounting, at best, only half of them are going to be able to fire at any time, and often none when the ship is heading roughly towards or away from the enemy, which is going to be a significant proportion of the time due to the naval AI's quirks. And when they do fire, the shells are going to have trouble hitting due to their low muzzle velocity, as well as, and even if they do hit, their damage will be limited by their low ammunition load. Although, given the time that they need to actually get to fire, at least the extra loading time will help a little. We've also got the quadruple turrets on the fore and aft, but unfortunately are not particularly efficiently configured. We see that it appears that there's no autoloaders being used at all, which means that not much mileage is getting out of these high explosive pellets and other attachments. We see, despite having all these high explosives and other things, the reload time is nearly 30 seconds, and we only have 2.5 effective boxes of each type. That's really a low number. The muzzle velocity is still also only mediocre, especially due to the use of the recoil suppression barrels. To make matters even worse, the crams on the sides are set to, let's see, if I press the Q menu here, you'll see that the required accuracy is set to the default of 5 degrees, which is an unfortunate default for the game, because at 5 degrees you aren't going to be able to hit pretty much anything with your initial shot. It's going to fire prematurely as it's tracking towards its target, and it's going to miss by a huge margin. Although, I mean, you can't blame CrushedEmber too much, given that there's 72 of these. It would be quite tedious to set the angle restriction, the required accuracy on all these one at a time. Although maybe you could use a prefab. I think these also suffer from the same problem. I don't think the turret is set to 0.5 degrees, which is what you want. It's the minimum value. Let's see. Yeah, 0.5. But the cannons themselves are set to 5 degrees. And I don't think the cannons take the turret's value, so these will probably also suffer from the same issue. One final thing is the turrets also don't have angle restrictions set up. So if I turn the turret this way, and then decide I want to aim this way instead, the turret will keep trying to turn through the hull, since that's technically the shortest path of it. We're unobstructed, but it is obstructed, so it's just going to stick here until the ship is able to, until the target causes it to turn around the long way. Now, if I actually go down into the turret block, let's see, and set an angle restriction, let's say -90 to 90. This is probably a bit conservative, but it'll... Actually, let's go for 120 so I can demonstrate better. So now, if I turn this way, we'll stop there. But if I aim this way, it's not working. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I guess I was aiming into its dead zone. It will go the other direction. Let's see that again. Actually, make sure I'm not hitting the full 180. Yeah. So with the angle restriction, the turret will actually turn the proper direction. So overall, I would say this ship probably has the highest looks to performance ratio of any ship. I mean, I guess it's sort of a mixed compliment there, but I mean, that's what it is. Unfortunately, I was unable to complete some of these episodes before the corresponding ships got eliminated from the tournament. But thanks for this beautiful entry, CrushedEmber, and I'll see you all next time.